Tell us more about wider containment efforts and the risk of border closures.
So both the Africa CDC and the WHO have been very, very clear. They do not think that borders should be closed. We saw with COVID-19 that it's not a particularly effective measure. Once something is moved, it's moved, and closing something retrospectively is not particularly useful. There's also a huge risk of economic fallout, and specifically in a region like the DRC and other parts of Africa, that is something that no one can afford. So that is not something that is recommended. Of course, it doesn't mean that no one will do it. We got news from China this morning that they are surveilling all incoming transport from Africa, so flights or boats. Nigeria, just on the continent, Nigeria has said they're also upping their surveillance. And last month, Ivory Coast actually reported their first case of this particular variant. And I'm just going to read to you what they're doing because it sounds quite dramatic. So they have invited anyone keeping live animals without proper authorization to hand them over to the nearest forest service station or risk facing up to 20 years imprisonment and a fine that equates to about $166,000. So countries are taking it seriously.
But Janice, I mean, and again, a lot of people will be, afraid. A lot of other people will say, we're making mountains out of nothing. The concern here is that this is a changing virus, right? So that it's not airborne, but you could still catch it if there's a bit of saliva if you're speaking to someone quite close. So, how fast can this new strain spread, and how many versions are we likely to get of this?
We don't have that data right now, and scientists are really scrambling to get more. Surveillance in the most affected area, which is Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, is not. It's a very tricky area to work in, and so it's been circulating there. This particular variant's been circulating there for at least 8 months, possibly longer, and the cases are very high there, both and deaths actually, more than 500 deaths in the DRC alone this year. So they are scrambling to get that information. It is still something that we will probably get more information in the coming days and weeks.